Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? What we're going to be talking about right now is something that bothers me, okay? And it bothers me because my son and my daughter-in-law are actually going through this right now. And I don't know how to go about it. I've told my son and my daughter-in-law, by law, you can withhold rent, okay, put it in an escrow account, and until things are fixed and up to par, you do not have to pay your rent, okay? So with that being said, this is very frustrating, okay, when renters are stuck dealing with landlords who do not hold up their end of the deal, okay? Especially on major issues like broken air conditioners, leaks, appliances, okay? This is a real problem. And it's not just isolated cases, okay? There's a pattern here, and it's been documented all over the country. Renters are increasingly vocal, okay, about landlords neglecting essential repairs, okay? AC units, they're broke for weeks during heat waves, leaks causing mold and structural damage. Tenants are left to fend for themselves. Some renters are reporting that landlords are ignoring requests for months, or only doing like band-aid fixes that do not last, okay? I've seen apartments in shocking conditions, moldy walls, flooded floors, non-functional HVAC systems, okay? Because landlords, they are dodging their responsibilities. Now, like I said, with my son, what he's going through right now, first it was because they have washer and dryer in their apartment. That wasn't fixed. And I told him, I said, son, I said, you need to go down to that office and you need to start literally yelling. I said, you need to start protesting. You need to start doing whatever you need to do. I said, because, you have 3 children at the time, only 3. I said, and you need to do what you need to do. So that's what he did. Then the apartment upstairs, the hot water heater started leaking, and it was coming in through the walls. Okay, and their apartment downstairs was flooding constantly. There was water. It was mushed into the carpet, and the kids were walking through, and they're going, "What's going on? What's going on?" And my daughter-in-law was with the carpet cleaner, and it would suck up all the dirty water. And they couldn't figure out where it was coming from. And then my son had leaned against the wall, and the wall started to give. And they were like, what's going on here? So they called the office. And they came out right away for some reason, because normally they wait and they wait and they wait. They came out right away. And the hot water heater for the guy upstairs, it broke. And then the dishwasher. Not only is it not secure, like underneath the counter, it doesn't wash properly. So my son, being the guy that he is, he watched a video on YouTube, how to fix a washing machine or dishwasher. And because he called and called and called, they never came out. So he took it out, and the amount of black mold that was behind the dishwasher was horrifying. And there's hoses, okay, behind the dishwasher. They were caked with black mold. And also, They were also caked with dishwashing soap. And my daughter-in-law said, well, we don't use the liquid dishwashing soap. They use the little pods. So she said, how long has that dishwashing soap been caked back there? So, and there was also stuff behind the dishwasher that did not belong to them. Toys, socks, dog hair. And I was like, so he called me and he goes, Mom, what do I do? And I'm like, you need to start screaming. Well, they still never came out. So when I go over there, because, you know, I watch my granddaughter, my 1-year-old granddaughter. And I said, well, you know, I have to, you know, I help them clean the house and stuff like that because Jess is still very much pregnant. And I said, I can't even use the dishwasher. What the heck? So I pulled it out and I'm like, this is, I mean, even the racks are broken. They won't even fix anything. And I told him, I said, son, stop paying your rent, put it in an escrow account. And until this stuff gets fixed, you're not paying for anything. Because this is ridiculous. I mean, it's awful.
Nobody should be living in this.
Unit number 61 at the Hidden RV and Mobile Home Park north of Vancouver is a place that Casey Jewell calls home. But there's nothing charming about it. The place is falling apart, and no one will fix it. There's a hole in the kitchen ceiling.
Because when it rains, it drips. It's like got all these buckets.
And the cabinets look like they're about ready to fall.
I had food all in here before this happened, and it all got destroyed because the water got into there.
When we visited in late January, Casey hadn't had running water in 2 weeks. Casey's toilet stopped working months ago, and the drain in the tub spills straight to the ground. Casey and her son have complained to management repeatedly about the mobile home, which they rent. They don't own the unit. Should they be fixing this property?
They don't want to. They should, but they don't want to.
So when it comes to the legal side of things, okay, it's going to vary by location, by state. Most places have laws requiring landlords to maintain something called habitability. This means ensuring essentials like heat, water, and structural integrity are up to par. For example, in the United States, every state has some form of implied warranty of habitability, but enforcement can be shoddy. Tenants often have to jump through hoops, formal complaints, repair and deduct battles. What that means is you repair it, the tenant repairs it, you keep the receipts, you deduct it off your rent. Okay? Even lawsuits have to occur just to get some action. Data from the U.S. Census Bureau of 2023, American Housing Survey, it shows that about 13% of renters reported issues like water leaks, heating and cooling problems. Low-income households are hit the hardest, often stuck in substandard conditions because they cannot afford to move.
Big ass hole in my kitchen, y'all. This what happens when you got a slumlord who won't help. I told him the wall was caving in Thursday morning. He did nothing. It collapsed all over the place. It's Friday. He want me to wait till Sunday to come get it fixed. Wow, what kind of shit is that? It's 103 degrees outside. So you know how hot it is in the house. I don't know what to do. Help me out, TikTok.
On the flip side, some argue that landlords face their own pressures, and I understand that and I respect that because of rising property taxes, maintenance costs, homeowners insurance, or deadbeat tenants that they have had to deal with in the past. Okay, and these deadbeat tenants, they don't pay the rent, yada, yada, yada. Okay? But from a landlord's perspective, sometimes they claim that tenants often exaggerate or cause the damage themselves. That's why you have to take video end picture of everything. But this doesn't excuse neglecting major repairs, okay? Especially when tenants are paying on time and they have the receipts to back that up. The power imbalance is very clear. Landlords control the property. Tenants often have very little leverage, especially in tight housing markets where finding another place is not easy, especially when you have to come up with first, last, and security. Renters are fighting back, though, and some organize tenant union to pressure landlords collectively, while others use social media to shame negligent property managers publicly. Legal aid groups in many cities offer free help to navigate tenant rights, and in extreme cases, tenants can report violations to local housing authorities. So, people living in conditions that are straight up unlivable because landlords will not fix critical issues like leaks or broken ACs. It is infuriating to see renters who are often paying in a huge chunk of their income that are stuck living in squalor. The problem is widespread. Moldy walls, flooded apartments, tenants begging for just the basic of repairs. And data backs it up. Like I said, about 13% of U.S. renters reported serious maintenance issues. And it's worse for the lower income folks. But some landlords are claiming that they're strapped for cash, but that's no excuse, none whatsoever, for letting people live in health hazards. So, if you yourself are dealing with this, please document everything. Document the text messages, the emails, the photos, the videos. It is key. Some states allow tenants to withhold rent or repair and deduct the cost. But if you have got to, you have to follow the legal process exactly to the T, or you will risk eviction. So please follow your state laws when it comes to this, okay? I will see you guys in the next one. You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping, and as always, fear less and God bless.